Hello, welcome back to Smart Lawyer. And today we are going to deal with a very important subject which touches upon each and every one of us who are practicing law in India. We're going to talk today about ethics and law. I know that this is a very vast topic and this topic is more theoretical, but I'm talking about the code of professional ethics that a lawyer has to follow. So you know that like any other profession, whether it's medical, architectural, or chartered accountants, even lawyers have their own professional code of ethics, and we all are governed by that, and we are all bound by that professional code of ethics. Now, Advocates Act 1961 covers the code of ethics, and it deals with the entire legal profession, and it is one of the legislations which governs the entire profession as such. It also has a special section where the professional code of ethics is incorporated. Now, this is a very vast topic because there are various duties that a lawyer has, which is given in the professional code of ethics. But broadly, there are four different types of duties that a lawyer owes to the society as such. Number one is duty towards the court. I'm sure you must have heard this, that the lawyer is the highest priest in the temple of justice. And they say that our first duty is towards the court because we are considered to be the officers of the court. Second duty that you have is towards your client. And the third duty is towards your professional colleague, and the fourth duty that the code of ethics says is towards your opponent. Now, I'm not going to elaborate on all these four different types of ethics, but I have chosen broadly four issues that I feel are very important for a young lawyer to understand. Number one, we are not allowed to charge our client on the basis of success fee. Our professional code of ethics very clearly say that you cannot charge a percentage of a success to a client, which means that if you win a case and if a particular amount of compensation is granted to your client by a court, then you cannot take a percentage of that. You are allowed to take fees, you are allowed to charge whatever you feel is reasonable to a client, but a percentage of a success is not something which is allowed by our professional code of ethics. I'm 100% sure that as a young lawyer, your clients would definitely try to persuade you to charge on the basis of the outcome of the court case. But my advice to you would be to not get into that because it is unethical for us to do that. Second important standard that I feel that we all must be aware, it is your duty to disclose all the information to the client, which means that whether the information is beneficial to the client or it's not beneficial to the client, you are not supposed to hide anything from your client. You need to be brutally honest. If you feel that the case is not good, or if you feel that disclosing something will harm the interest of the client, it is your solemn duty to be very clear to the client at the very outset. So hiding any information from the client is something which is absolutely a no-go. Whether the client likes it or no, it is your duty to give a true and fair picture of the case to a client. So most of the times we face this ethical dilemma, whether to cross a line or no. I would always suggest that you should never cross a line, because ethicality always will define your future, because the more ethical you are, the more reputed you will be. And the client will definitely appreciate your honesty and straightforwardness, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, our first duty is towards the court because we are officers of the court. We are also responsible for the dispensation of justice because we are part of that process. So hence, being honest and ethical to your client is absolutely important. So the third important point that I wanted to cover was the fact that once you sign a wakalatnama or once you file a wakalatnama, it becomes your responsibility to uphold the interests of your client at any cost. You have to put the client's interest first before anyone else's, which means that you cannot do anything which is detrimental to the interest of the client. Fourth important point I wanted to discuss before I close this video is that if you're appearing for a client in a particular suit, you cannot appear for any other person or any other party in that particular suit. So which means that if you are representing a particular plaintiff over a period of time, you actually are facing a situation where the client has taken back the papers from you, or you are no more representing that plaintiff again. And if tomorrow some defendant who is part of the same suit comes and approaches you, at that point of time you will have to say a no to that, because you have already appeared for a plaintiff in that particular case, and hence the professional code of ethics does not allow you to appear for any other party once you have appeared for one party. So this may sound a little confusing, but it is very clear that once you appear for one party in a particular suit, you cannot appear for the other party in the same suit. It's a different issue if the suit is over and if it is disposed of, and after some time if the other parties to the suit come to you with some other case, then is a different issue. Then I'm sure you can do it. But if you're representing someone in a same suit, you cannot do it. Most of the times, in junior days, we all need work. So the biggest challenge is to maintain the ethics and not compromise it. But once again, I would like to repeat that be ethical, because that will define your future. Thank you.